This video explains how you can do SVG client-side charting using SQL data to populate your chart. So we have here a sample component that has two charts. The first chart is done using Alpha's SVG charting library, and the second chart is done using the rgraph open source charting library. So the data that populates this chart is based on Northwind customer and orders data. So in order to use SQL data in a client-side SVG chart, it's necessary to create data series that retrieve the SQL data and then publish that SQL data to the client side. So if we go here to our data series definitions, we can see that we have a data series called series 1 that has three sub-series: country, product name, and total. And the data for this data series is obtained using a custom XBasic function called getData, and then we can see that we are publishing the data to the client side. So if we go look at the getData function over here, we'll see that what the getData function does is it looks at the value in the country drop down, and if that value is not defined, it sets a default value of USA, and then it also looks at the value of the top number drop down, and if that value is not defined, it sets the value of 5. Then it defines a SQL query that returns three properties: the country property, the product name property, and the total property over here, which is just defined as unit price times order, and then it's the sum of those values. So, and then it joins customers with product detail and with order detail. So the net result is that we have a text string over here with three pipe delimited values. So this is the first value here is country, then a pipe, and then the next value is product name, and then a pipe, and then the final value is total. So these are the three values for the three data series, the three sub-series that we defined. So this is how we define our data series, and then we consume those data series in the actual chart. So in the chart definition over here, you'll see that what we have is we are retrieving the value of the total, country, and product name sub-series. Then we're putting those three values, those three sub-series, together into an object, into an array that has objects as each item in the array, and each object in the array has a total, country, and product name property. And then we're doing that because in the chart itself we're going to reference this total property here to retrieve the values for each pie slice, and we're going to reference the product name property to get the label for each pie slice. So you can see that over here for the value, we are going to look at the source property of the data object. So this is the the source property, the total property is where the data is going to be stored. So it's this property over here. And then for the pie labels, which are over here, we're going to reference point.source.items0, and this is the data point that we're looking at, and then we're looking at the product name property to actually get the label for each pie slice. So that pulls out this property here, the product name property. Then once we make a change in those drop downs, we re-execute the query to retrieve the latest data series values, and we replot the chart. So you can see that when the value in country changes, what we're doing is so let's look at the on change event for there. When the value of the country changes, we call JS chart refresh, and we say refresh chart 1 and chart 2. So chart 1 is the chart that is based on the Alpha Anywhere SVG library, and chart 2 is the chart that is based on the R-graph library. So let's go ahead now and run this. So when we change this from 5 to say 8, you can see we now have 8 slices in our pie. And if we change this from say USA to Brazil, we're now getting the sales of products in Brazil. We're getting the top 8 products sold in Brazil, and each pie slice now has a label that comes from the data series displayed as a call out. So in this video we've shown how you can build SVG charts that are client-side charts using SQL data that is returned to the client using data series. Thanks very much for watching.